Gathered here today, a race that will surely pay. The 5 chosen ones will get ready to run, starting at Franklin's home and finishing at the sign made of stone.
Starting in April, made obvious by the blooming maple, the motivation to win is the money at the end. Franklin, the cook, Manciple, and Sumner, and don't forget the carpet maker. We will watch these athletes fight until darkness brings night. The winner will soon be determined, but not without many burdens. Good luck to you, fine 5 men. Let the race begin.
3, 2, 1, go!
Franklin, the owner of the vines, had plentiful amount of food and wine. He loves to cook, and he often reads many books. He was known to be very nice, and he wasn't afraid to give you pumpkin spice. If you got on his bad side, you may not have a place to run and hide. A house full of plenty, the ladies more than 20. Franklin is very giving, and he is the host of Thanksgiving. He fights for his justice while eating a bowl of hummus. He has a lot of land. His grapes never went bland. Red, green, and purple grapes, there was so many they hung like drapes. He gave them out as fast as they grew. His selflessness was shown through. With having a great soul, Mr. Franklin's heart was whole.
The carpet maker was a politician who was commonly known for signing petitions. He is part of a guild that took him years to build. Growing up poor and neglected, receiving the money was unexpected. His wisdom for his trade brought a woman with a beautiful braid. Going to church was just a deed. The thing that was driving him was greed. He was very arrogant and could be sure to save every cent. He often made his appearance, but solely just to get clearance. He had a wife that was stuck up, and she never knew when to shut up. He was wise at helping the community. Oh, how nice was he. He was very crafty and wasn't very tacky. His appearance was always perfect. He made sure his time was always worth it.
The Manciple was a manipulator and wanted to catch the perpetrator. He purchased food when he was in the mood. He wanted justice in the town. He was willing to take the criminal down. He was very wise and was good with his lies. He was overpowered by greed. Everything he wanted he didn't need. Running, jumping, and laughing, he was known to be annoying. Chaucer was amused, and where his money came from had others confused. He worked throughout the temple, and his job was not very simple. He was very smart on the street. The authorities could not track his feet. While he worked in the courthouse, he was as quiet as a mouse. The Manciple on his horse was the best of course.
The cook who works for the guildsman, gluttony was his sin. As he stood alone, his sorrow was shown. As he eats a lot of food, he would be in a good mood. When it comes to food, he was wise. He regularly sold his meat pies. He was very big and fat. There was no doubt about that. He was a part of the lower trade class, and he wouldn't let anyone give him sass. Pots, spoons, and knives and forks was what he used to make his famous port. He had a lot of flies in his kitchen, but it wasn't gross to his opinion. With his chef hat and white coat, he could surely make a beer float. He ate a lot of jelly, which gave him a jiggly belly. He was very giving and also very willing.
The Sumner was not very clean. He was very mean. Alcohol was his favorite purchase. He kept women in his fortress. Running women was his specialty. He was a pimp they called Mr. P. He had a temper he could not control. If he got a hold of you, your head would roll. A scam artist he was. He liked to scare little kids just because. Roaring and screaming was often heard. He never spoke softly, not one word. He owned the streets at night. To keep it, he'd put up a fight. He had lots of wisdom. No one knew where it came from. His pants sagged so low that his underwear would show. His chains were silver and gold. They stood out and were very bold to keep his money flowing, and he wasn't afraid of showing.
Crossing the finishing line, no one was left behind. In the end, there was no money. The men did not find this very funny.
They all began to turn on each other as they started to blame each other. This clearly turned into a greedy battle, as money is the root of all evil.
At the end, there was no prize, because the men were worried about their own lives. The men were all determined to win, until they were taken over by sin. A lesson was surely learned, that money can make you turn. This race may not have been what they thought, but a little happiness is soon brought. Joined together at the end, they came together and made a friend.